Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Triaf Well, take two. Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Triaf Podcast, where we try not to screw the podcast stuff up. How is everybody before I make this worse?
Redo.
No, we're good. We're good.
No, we're good. We'll
be here all night. Tongue tied for the rest of the evening.
Well, we're gonna be here all night anyways.
That could be. It'd be like eight podcast episodes though. You know, content.
I'm cool with that.
I'm lazy, so we'll double dip. All
He's
right.
double dipping. He's double dipping.
All right. Well, Mr. Cody.
Yo.
You went and hunted Bigfoot. How'd that go?
Well, it was less of a Bigfoot hunting adventure, and what? I got a cool T-shirt with Bigfoot on it.
Okay.
Wait, did you bring it with you? Where's it at?
It's in my closet.
It's not supposed to be there.
Well, you can get it. We're gonna be
Go-
here for like
go
2
grab it
hours.
real quick.
Go get your
Represent,
Bigfoot shirt.
bro.
Yeah.
Wait, let me get him a lamp. Did you hear my phone go off?
I did.
Move it.
It's all right.
Here
At
we
least
are.
it's not like. Oh,
Sorry.
Bigfoot rocks.
Heck yeah.
That's all right.
It's a band shirt.
It's a band. Okay.
Yeah, this is a tour schedule of all the places he's been seen.
What
in Oklahoma.
genre
That is so cool.
Bigfoot rocks? Is it heavy metal or some kind of orangutan variant?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was asking what genre is this Bigfoot band? Is it like metal, country? I don't know what Bigfoot would prefer.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm assuming some sort of folk thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, we didn't really hunt for Bigfoot, but we
I would imagine it would sound more like sticks in trees.
Sticks in. So it's a very percussion oriented.
Yeah,
sound.
like
A lot of grunts. See,
I
that
did,
makes me-
however, notice.
What?
Go ahead. I made an observation while we were there.
Oh, you did make an observation.
No. So they call Bigfoot skunk ape, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
does he smell bad?
I think it's an
Well,
analogy.
that's what
for
they
pot.
say, yeah.
Oh,
They say it's a... Oh, it is?
No, I'm making that up. I'm pulling it out of my hind end. I'm just going skunk ape. Pot smells like skunk, or at least it did in Seattle.
Yeah. There could be a connection. I don't know. It's probably as close as the connection that I'm making here. So, but on the way up there, I saw a tremendous amount of skunks on the road.
Oh, did you?
So that's something. Because I mean,
There
if
you
they're
go.
they're saying Bigfoot is in this area and all that, and there's a lot of skunk ape. I don't know.
They're
So
saying
do you-
Bigfoot's in Oklahoma?
Yeah, up in the mountains, Kiamichi Mountains.
I guess I don't know where those are. Kiamichi
They're in the-
Mountains.
they're in the mountains.
Yeah,
Okay, is that
they're,
Tulsa, Oklahoma?
No,
or
no,
Central
it's about
Oklahoma?
3 hours away.
You gotta go
Is that
south.
McAllister?
Past
South,
McAllister.
Past McAllister, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Quite a
southern
ways.
Oklahoma then.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. I didn't
On
know
your way
that.
to like Texas, Houston.
I'd heard there was a Bigfoot sighting in Claremore years ago. Is that true?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, me and my friends, well, you met them, Thomas and Jared, and Trevor, you know Jared.
Yeah,
We
it's been
went
a long
and
time.
tried to track.
Jared's my cousin.
Yeah, we tried to track down this Bigfoot sighting in Claremore. We failed miserably, and we wound up sleeping on a rock around that Claremore Lake like it was without a paddle. Like it was an embarrassing attempt at a Bigfoot hunt. We cuddled, and it was weird.
That sounds weird.
Cuddling on a rock.
You didn't take a tent?
That would have required thinking ahead.
I'm bad at that.
No, we took a sleeping bag, but no, we didn't take a tent, weirdly. 3 sleeping bags, I should clarify that.
Yeah, it's a good thing to clarify.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
That must have been intense.
It really wasn't. It was just, we wasted our time. The general
Yep.
feeling was, well, we don't have money for a hotel, and I don't want to stay in the van with you people. I guess we'll go outside.
Yeah. Huh.
And of course, that Claremore Lake is like pathetically small, so there's like
Yeah.
traffic driving around, and we're like, what kind of lake is this? This is a pond. So,
Yeah. I did, however, talk about something I got there. I got there's like a naturalist, like an herbalist lady there, and I got some tooth powder from her. It's like clay and charcoal
really?
and a couple of other little things. And it's like just powder, man. You dip your toothbrush in there. My teeth have gotten a lot whiter.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's called charcoal.
I have sold out and started buying most of my stuff from Alex Jones's store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Some real American boner pills.
no toothpaste, but thank you for that. Anywho, he's got some
Hey, I'm
toothpaste
just
made out of silver, and it helps. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, boner pills are funnier than that, so.
I'm not gonna comment. This is a
Have you-
family
have you heard-
program. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm gonna say it is because I have no response.
Yeah, the Try F podcast where we try like F not to F it up.
I say F. I could go the other way with it.
And we F up miserably.
We're failing so far. No.
What about you guys? Have you
What?
ever seen Bigfoot?
I have
Oh, yeah.
in my dreams.
Ooh, you dreamed about Bigfoot?
Yeah. It was
Weird.
a weird experience.
Yeah.
Closest I ever got was, this is stupid and to show that I really haven't seen much of anything, but I did see a very large footprint, or what I perceived to be a footprint, because it was in the woods, right? And of course, as the woods are surrounded by leaves, except for this one random spot, and it was shaped like a foot, and it was like, well, you know, it's about as big as those casts you see on TV or whatever. So I don't know what that would be, a foot, 2 foot long. I don't know, however big those casting prints are. And it was really weird, but I mean, it was hard ground, so, you know, it wasn't like indented or anything. But it was
Was there
very
just one?
peculiar. Yeah, there was just one. That's the closest thing I could ever. That's the only time I ever thought I might have seen or been near something. Probably was nothing though. I did tell you about the time I saw a Wolverine. That's probably the most. That's
kind of scary.
Hornets. Huh?
Wolverines are scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It's big. It's like a big. The way it was shaped, it was like a giant coon type of thing. It's got that arched back and everything.
Yeah, they'll tear you up, dude.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But no, I haven't seen a Bigfoot. I would love to go hunting sometime, but I would probably fail because first episode we did, we were talking about how those hunters, you know, that hunt deer, they douse themselves in deer urine to keep from being smelled. I'm like, and these guys are like sitting there cooking bacon and talking about pregnant women. So I was like,
But usually it's not.
get anywhere.
Usually it's not urine. It's the
If it's a
What's it
body
called?
fluid, I'm calling it urine.
Ester.
yeah.
It's what?
It's the excrement of the
Estrus.
Oh, so it's poop.
Yeah.
It's poop.
No, it's not poop.
Of
Estrus.
the females. You know, they
Oh.
so it attracts the males more.
See, I'm just gonna call it urine. Keep it simple.
But it's estrus.
It's a type of urine.
Let's.
I'm going
settle on a
hunting
type
soon.
of
I'm
urine.
excited.
I like that descriptor. It is a type of urine. It's a species of urine.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't do a whole lot of hunting, huh? What did you guys do?
I mean, we sold stuff.
Sold stuff, huh?
Yeah.
What'd you sell?
Walked around, bought stuff. That's steel stuff that my uncle and I make.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we did a lot of Bigfoot, like little bookends, you know, like little Bigfoot statue guys.
Yeah, why do they have Bigfoot
fire
statues
pits,
all over the place in
stuff like
Oklahoma if all the sightings are down south? Because I see Bigfoot statues like everywhere.
Because
down
people
there.
like it. People like to dream.
Is it a big community of Bigfoot people?
It's a fun.
researchers in Oklahoma?
It's a fun topic.
Yeah.
What's a fun topic? I just,
It's
Missouri,
huge up there in the mountains, man. It's like Oklahoma's. They can use it as a like Florida has all that tourist income to supplement.
Oh.
Like Oklahoma's trying to get in on that because they got the Bigfoot
Tourist trap stuff. Got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, was it West Virginia has Mothman?
Yeah, I've heard that's true though. It was like a CIA operation. They screwed a guy all up.
Yeah, it was in the 60s.
How do you come across these things? I've heard of Mothman. I've never heard it was a CIA operation.
Oh yeah, it's a whole big deal. They had to really seriously cover it up because
they fucked a guy up.
Yeah.
Well, what's the Jersey Devil then? Is that CIA?
It's basically the Mothman, but in New Jersey.
That would. I don't think that's right.
Jersey Devil.
I thought the Jersey Devil was like this thing with a camel head and goat hoof prints, and it hopped around on rooftops.
Well, there you go.
Looking. It's like a
Santa
weird
Claus
hybrid thing.
You know more than I do.
If Santa Claus was Satan, perhaps.
Hey, it's literally the same letters in the word, bro.
Why you gotta ruin things for me?
I'm just pointing it out.
that line of reasoning leads to madness. It's like Santa Claus, Satan are the same letters. This 23's in there somewhere.
Actually,
I don't know what the number means, but it's everywhere.
Santa Claus has an evil twin brother.
Oh, Krampus, right?
Krampus. He'll bring you coal.
I don't think they're twins, though. Are they?
No, they're not twins. They're just brothers.
It's what happens if you're bad. Santa doesn't give you coal. His demon brother comes and takes you away, and
no, he takes your parents.
Or something. Oh, he takes your parents.
Takes your parents.
Mind you, Trevor's getting his subject matter from American Dad. So
no, Supernatural.
Just play with it.
I get my subject matter from Supernatural.
Oh, right. That show.
That show is my favorite show, bro.
It was tolerable until season 4, and then Castiel showed up. Okay, yes, you've shown me that. That's devotion. That's devotion. I couldn't. Well, I'm glad you have it. It'll be a good story.
It is a good story.
Oh, no, I liked Supernatural until after Castiel showed up in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like that apocalypse narrative that they did. After that, I'm like, should have been done. Like 15 seasons for that show. It petered out after 5, and it was just redundant after that. Eventually, one of those Winchester brothers became God or something, and I'm like, okay, that's called being okay.
No, the god they used was Chuck.
Why did they use Chuck? Like, was he like the god, or was he like the creator of the world, of that world, or like what?
Yeah, he was the guy that was writing the Supernatural books. That was how they wrote him into the story.
Yeah, so I remember that.
He's a prophet to begin with that was writing the story of Supernatural.
I thought he was a prophet that pretended to be God. He was like playing the fool, but was like moving stuff behind the scenes.
Yes, basically. But at first, in the first 5 seasons, because that's all he thought they were going to do, he was just a prophet writing the Supernatural books. Well, later, in like season 9, I think, they needed somewhere to go. So they brought Chuck back, and he was then God.
See, good stories end. I know that's a crazy concept.
Well,
when you start something, there should be an end in mind.
Well, Supernatural, the show is all about.
Sorry, pause. I need to say this. Looking at you, J.J. Abrams. Where's my camera? There it is. J.J. Abrams. Start with the ending in mind. So, okay, sorry. That's enough. Thinking about Lost. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't get
Man, I
started
ate
on
up every
Lost.
minute of that show. I ate up every minute.
You just hear Gene Wilder at the last episode going, "You get nothing. You lose."
Here's your sign.
Yeah, terrible. Same with
Just
Walking Dead, man.
watch.
Walking Dead, that was terrible, man.
Did it do the
I
same
don't
thing?
remember when we quit watching it. But
I remember you guys were big into it, and then Glenn died.
oh,
And-
Glenn was the best, dude. That
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
I know I kind of tuned out because I would watch clips on YouTube. I cared enough to see like the 5-minute clips.
Yeah. It should have died with Negan. Or Glenn, rather.
Yeah.
When Glenn died. Yeah.
Well, when Coral or Carl or whatever his
Carl.
name is.
Yeah, that would have been a good ending too.
Well, he went to college, and so they just killed him off. And I'm like, why don't you just end the show before he went to college?
Or that, yeah.
Because like Rick's whole arc was protecting Coral or Carl or whatever.
Cool.
Coral. Yeah. So I was always like, why don't you just? I mean, once that's done, whether he lived or died, that's the end of the show. I mean, that was the subplot of the whole thing, was protecting the kid and protecting the new generation and all of that. The adults are the Walking Dead, but the kids might not be, you know.
Yeah.
The themes. But after they killed him, it was like, well, the show's over now.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
I did personally, I did like when they brought Judith back in as her like older kid self.
Mm.
She was awesome.
I guess I
'Cause
never
they-
saw that.
Yeah, later after I don't remember how many seasons they brought Judith back, and Michonne basically kind of raised her,
Yeah.
and Judith was carrying Rick's pistol and Michonne's sword,
Ah.
and that
I
was
think I
like the
vaguely remember that.
it was like the opening scene to the season. I think I don't remember. I'd have to go back and
Did the
Maybe
Super
watch
Mario
it.
Brothers ever fight Bigfoot?
uh
Because you would think that would be
no,
first
and they
go-to. They never went after They
never
killed
went after-
Satan, but they never went after Bigfoot.
no, actually they never killed off. As far as I can remember, they never killed off Satan.
They
Lucifer.
never killed off Satan. Well, I mean, you just blow them up
Right.
and they come back or whatever it is they do. But
Yeah, they never actually killed him off. They just locked him in the cage.
mm,
And then when they brought Chuck back in as God, they had a daddy-son argument, which was hilarious.
they had a daddy-son argument, huh?
Yeah, like like Sam and Dean, the main characters, were kind of the intermediates between God / Chuck and Lucifer.
Hmm.
So you got the guy playing as God and then Lucifer having this argument, and then two mortals sitting back going, "Did we say anything?" And it was hilarious.
Sorry.
Unless you find that extremely offensive, which most Christians do, then it's not that good. It's terrible writing.
Yeah. They only find it offensive because they don't know what they believe.
Yeah, well, I think Supernatural was kind of one of those things where it was like everything's true.
No,
No.
Supernatural makes fun of people who think that everything's true.
They had like everybody in that show though. Like
Yeah, they try to get
they
every
had like
type
Cupid
of
in there at
lore.
one point and all
Cupid
this.
was in there. They did a lot of make fun of videos. Like they made fun of the vampires. One of those, what's that called? Where the
Which
vampires glow.
Oh, Twilight.
Oh, this
Twilight.
sparkly vampire.
They made so much fun of Twilight.
It's like low-hanging fruit.
hilarious.
The glampires.
The glam fires. That's amazing. Yeah. No, I mean, I never found it like offensive. I just found it trite. You know what I mean?
Watch past season 5. Like start at season 6.
Oh, it gets worse.
He said, watch 5 seasons and you'll be into it.
No. Don't watch the first 5. And just start at season 6 and open mind watch it. Because if you watch it from I'm gonna review this, you're gonna hate it. It's gonna be a terrible show. But if you watch it with an open mind where you're making fun of everything, it's a great show.
Well, I mean, that's where I get my best material. People tend to like it when you tear stuff up in reviews. You know, so if you hate it,
some people
hate watching.
It takes a certain type.
Yeah,
they're the majority, whatever type they are.
Yeah,
I'll be that type for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hate watch so much stuff. My editor was finally like, what do you? I would love to read something where you actually like it.
Oh, so you're a negative Nancy reviewer, editor.
Most of the time. Most of the time. Not all the time, but like I liked Romulus more than most people did. Alien Romulus. I enjoyed that more than I thought I would.
Which one was that?
That was the latest one that came out.
Latest one, what?
From the Alien franchise.
Oh,
the Alien movies. Yeah.
Why'd they call it Romulus?
I don't know, because they've had this weird, like, ancient figures theme going, and they wanted to trick people into thinking it was part of the Prometheus arc when it wasn't. Which is probably why it did bad, because the movie wasn't terrible. It's just, I don't know. Okay, Bigfoot's left the station. I guess we're not talking about that anymore. But how familiar are you guys with the Alien franchise? Because I've been on this thing for months. So I'm like saturated in it.
I've only seen the one that came out like 10 years ago.
That would probably be Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Maybe, I don't remember.
That's the second worst one.
Yeah.
Like the worst one's Alien 3. Like that one's just a straight up propaganda piece. Like there's stupid and then there's propaganda stupid.
Yeah, it's all like to make you get you to believe in viruses, I think. Just like Walking Dead.
It was a weird... Alien 3 was really weird. It was like this systematic like destruction of motherhood.
Yeah.
It was... I have this theory about
interesting
media and how you can tell like when something's propaganda, because there's certain like hard fast rules to storytelling, like things that if you bring something up, it has to pay off at some level before the end of the film. So that's like Chekhov's gun. If you put a gun on the stage, at some point the gun has to be used. You don't just put a gun on the stage in the theater and then not ever bring it up. And so when you bring up a point in a movie, it has to come back around in some fashion, And so if you see a situation where a rule like that is broken, like a hard, fast rule is broken, then you can kind of suspect that there's studio involvement. Because most writers, especially if they're writers that are good enough to get into Hollywood, they know kind of what these rules are unless they're diversity hires.
Yeah.
But lots of times the studios get involved and they tear up whatever the writers put together, and they like insert their crap. And usually there's a major plot hole or a major flaw in the story whenever that happens. And you can almost see the hand of the communists or the CIA that's paying for the movie interjecting or whatever.
Right. And based on whatever the current social push is.
Yeah, well, the transition from Aliens 2 to Aliens 3 is the most fascinating example of it, because in the 80s, I don't know why, maybe it's because it was Reagan in charge, I don't know, but they were all about building kind of like surrogate families. And so you get a surrogate dad, surrogate mom, surrogate kid, and these people would come together and, they'd form their kind of makeshift, family unit. Well, they did that in Alien 2. So you have the Marine survivor, and then you have Newt the kid, and then you have Ripley. And they build this kind of family dynamic by the end of it. But Alien 3, back when the feminism thing was really kicking off. That was like the first wave of the girl, like the feminazis, as Limbaugh used to call them.
Yeah.
You know, that was the first wave of the feminazis. They'd kick in. Well, that was a big deal apparently in the mid-90s, and you see them kill the Marine, and then they killed Newt. And to pull it off, it's the most amazing thing, because one of the things that you would pay attention to in a franchise is the lore. Like, how do the aliens lay the eggs? What are their powers? What can they do? What can't they do? And all this and that. And how did the simple things like how did the second movie end? You know, like little things like that. Well, all of that goes out the window at the beginning of Aliens 3. So at the end of Aliens 2, for example, the Queen's in the hull. She's killed in the hull. Like, she climbs onto the shuttle that's going to the main ship. I need to quit doing that. It's weird. She climbs on the shuttle going to the main ship, and then she climbs into the main ship's hull, and she attacks them, and they kill her in the hull. She never enters the shuttle, and she never goes anywhere outside of the hull of the ship. So the big climax is in this giant hangar thing.
Yeah.
So that's how the movie ends. In Alien 3, there's an egg where all the cryo beds were, which was either in the shuttle or in some other random part of the ship. Well, obviously there were no aliens, and the Queen never went there. So how did the egg get there?
Yeah.
Well, they don't tell you, and they don't care, you know? And then they have the facehugger thing, the little spider thing that comes out of the eggs. It looks like it attacks Newt, but it actually attacks Ripley.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, Ripley's bed was completely undamaged, so how did the facehugger get into the bed? You know? And then on top of that, that same facehugger lays 2 eggs, when it's like the main staple of that lore is that it's 1 egg, 1 facehugger. After the facehugger lays the egg, it dies. That's like the rule.
Yeah.
But they broke that. And what it was they had to destroy that surrogate family that was built in the 80s because that was no longer in vogue. And so they just tanked everything that they built for the previous 2 movies just to make sure that family was destroyed. And what was really interesting is if they'd been smart, they could have like killed the Marine like halfway through the film instead of having Charles Dance be the love interest. They could have killed the Marine, and then they could have killed Newt. And that would have been like a great character arc for Ripley. You know what I mean? Like, she loses her surrogate family and now she has to start all over. And it's like it would have been a good Dark Midnight of the Soul second act type of thing.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They go out of their way to kill those characters at the very beginning of the film because the goal was to destroy that surrogate family. And what's even creepier about it is they kind of have this is going to sound strange, but they kind of have this child sacrifice motif thing with it. So after Newt dies,
I remember that. Yeah.
After Newt dies, she drowns. Now, another mainstay is that the host has to be alive for the embryo to survive. That's the whole point of a parasitic spider variant.
Right.
But even though Newt died, and by all logic, the embryo, if she had an embryo, should be dead. They still do the autopsy, and they go out of their way to show, like Newt's horrified face when she's in the cryo bed, and then they rip her body apart, and they got the bones crunching. And the point was to be they wanted to desecrate the child's body.
Yeah.
And they did all these plot holes to pull that off. And I would argue that it is logically consistent to say that they did that as kind of a desecration of motherhood because they completely broke their lore and what had been established by the previous 2 films just to make sure you heard that little girl's bones crunching. Maybe that argument's crap, but that's what I think was going on. I think they were intentionally attacking Ripley's motherhood because then immediately after that, they shave her head and then they put her in sexless clothing, which is frighteningly reminiscent of Chairman Mao's Cultural Revolution, the sexless clothing that the Chinese wore when they were killing each other en masse.
Yeah.
So there was like direct propaganda in that film.
Well, do you think it might have something to do with it because Sigourney Weaver was the producer of that one?
Maybe. I know that the director said he hated Newt, or the writer said he hated Newt, and he wanted to get rid of Newt as fast as possible. I don't know if Sigourney Weaver had anything to do with it or not, but But my point is, like, Aliens Resurrection, which is the next movie, is just regular stupid. Like, it's popcorn flick, regular,
Hey,
dumb.
Hey,
things
no, I
happen.
thought that one was great.
Yeah,
You
it's
missed
fun. It's stupid. It's so stupid, but it's fun. You know. But that
Covenant.
movie,
Covenant is before that one.
Covenant is after Prometheus. Covenant
Right.
came out in 2017.
Wait.
Covenant's a prequel.
I
So
just looked at
it goes number 3.
Number
And then
3, Prometheus,
which-
Covenant, Romulus.
Yeah, number 3 is when they're in the prison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the end of number 3, Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley gets thrown into the
No, she jumps
fire.
off. She kills herself.
She kills herself to make sure
The
that
queen.
the queen inside her is dead.
Yeah,
And then-
it's
Prometheus, they bring her back.
no,
by-
they don't bring Ripley back.
In by
Resurrection,
cloning.
they bring Ripley back as a clone.
I think oh yeah, these are all screwed up. Wow.
Oh, that's right.
Not-
Okay, okay.
These are in as good an order as Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Covenant is the one I saw.
Yeah,
There is no
Covenant's
It,
one.
really
it was
stupid.
it was real heavy on the how the spores worked and all that shit.
yeah. The black goo turned into spores.
You know
Yeah.
what the greatest Aliens movie is?
I like Aliens 2 the best.
Aliens versus Predator. Prove me
Oh,
wrong.
so dumb.
Arnold's pretty hard.
Prove me wrong. It's such a low bar. I mean, yes, Aliens versus Predator is like better than 90% of them. I would say it's not better than 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, no, you can't erase the classics.
Yeah, no, I mean, 1 and 2 are amazing. Well, 1's okay, 2's amazing.
Yeah.
2's one of those like trope establishing movies where like it sets precedents for things.
Yeah, no, if you just watch 2 out of all the alien stuff, you would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you
All
could
I've seen is
probably.
Covenant. I'm not even interested in watching any more of them.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think there's hope. Maybe. I think they did okay in Romulus. They didn't do great, but they did okay.
Is the next one going to be Remus?
Oh, probably. It's like, look, we're cultured. Look at all these Roman names we know. Go through the whole dad blame pantheon.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's archetypal. Like they have to put that in. It's just how the story works, man.
I don't know why they do that, to tell you the truth.
Because
They're
they have
trying
to
to
tell
do
the same stories
panspermia.
over and over again.
I think what they were doing was they were trying to do panspermia. Like Prometheus, I guess the story is with him as he, gave man fire. And the white aliens were giving us the means to create life. I think that's what they were going for. And then after that, they were like, well, we did one foreign sounding-ish name. I think it was a Latin-esque. Let's do other Roman crap, What was another complex sounding name? Covenant? I don't think Covenant's part of the pantheon. Shut up. It's 3 syllables.
Makes
That's
it
the
sound
meaning
good.
of
It makes it sound good. Yeah.
Well, my thoughts on it, and this is my personal thought, was they were trying to copy kind of Halo,
Oh, yeah. I
the
think you're
video
right.
game stuff.
I think you're right
Because-
about that.
I think what you and I already talked about this, but Halo does the same thing with the flood.
Did we talk about who did it first? Was it Prometheus or Halo?
I tried to look it up. I don't remember how far I got, but I know
would
it's
be
on
surprised if it
one
was
of
Halo
our.
that did it first.
Yeah, it was on one of our other random podcasts.
It's probably in random talk,
Hmm.
because we jumped everywhere during that one. So do we have any final thoughts on Bigfoot?
I don't, man.
I don't either.
There's a guy named Juan Ayala. He's got a podcast called One on One.
Hmm.
It's pretty funny.
Ooh, I heard it.
I just, I used to be interested in Bigfoot stuff when I was a kid, but
What's that noise you got? Okay, it's gone.
it wasn't
So-
me. Whatever it wasn't me.
Oh, there it is.
Is that Dina?
Oh, it might be.
What?
Dina.
Sorry.
Are you recording right now?
We're recording, yeah.
Okay, not right now. Back inside.
Oh, well, I was gonna say hi to Dina, but I guess she's gone.
But it was my kid. Then
But yeah, he's got a one has a reward, on offer for a picture of Bigfoot's dick. So something like that. It's pretty funny.
That's interesting. I don't know what to make of that.
He talks about the homunculus a lot. You know what that is?
Homunculus. I've heard that term, but the meaning of it escapes me. What does homunculus mean?
That's great. So like Frankenstein would be considered a homunculus. It's like a being that you create,
Okay. Gotcha.
but not like
Gotcha.
of your own. Not God's way.
Right. Like use some sort of ritual magic or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. No, I used to be into it, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, it's just a monkey. If it's real, it's just a monkey. I don't know how it affects my world anyway.
Yeah.
I don't feel a strong desire to go find a gorilla.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm good. I would like to see those long necks they say exist in Central Africa. That would give me pleasure because, those Darwinists would pull their hair out and that would make me smile. But, but that's just spite. So, I mean, beyond that, I don't really have a strong opinion. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.